Hey guys, welcome back to yet another YouTube video. This is we call part two of a video that I did. I think it was last week. About the MotoGP 2022 silly season, because there's been a lot of things that have been a lot of talks over the last several days, of course, over post German Grand Prix, and then of course in the Dutch TT this weekend. Over the course of that weekend, last week, of this past weekend as well. So first off, of course, after I recorded the silly season video for MotoGP. Just after I recorded it, I saw that, of course, Remy Gardner was announced to be in MotoGP, which is fantastic for a number of reasons. One, have a second Aussie in MotoGP finally. A second competitive Aussie in MotoGP, I should say, and two, have the Gardner name back in MotoGP. It hasn't been a Gardner name in MotoGP since 1992, back when it was back in the 500cc days, which was nearly 30 years ago. So exactly 30 years ago, when Wayne retired, Remy is going to making his MotoGP debut. So that announcement actually came straight, or pretty much after or during my recording of that video. And since then, since that announcement, well, everything's starting to fall into place. So the first point of news, I found this out on this one was probably after this one's related to Moto 2 and Moto 3. So I think it was rumors. I don't know if it was before the German Grand Prix, or I think it was or something like that. It was earlier this month, and I probably didn't say it that much in the first video, but the first part. But this one here was basically, there was rumors that were swirling around that Raul Fernandez would basically do a Jorge Martin and basically go to Petronas Yamaha to partner up with Franco Morbidelli. That one, Yamaha and him, I'll talk about later. And there was also rumors swirling around another KTM rider, that of Pedro Acosta, the Spanish Moto3 sensation this year. There was rumors that he was gonna be in the VR46 team. Now, I'd assume that will be, and speaking of the VR46 team, I'll speak about that later as well. I assume that's to join their Moto 2 team, I would assume. So yeah, but at the moment, Raul Fernandez said during this weekend at the Dutch TT that, as far as he's concerned, he is still a Moto 2 rider. It doesn't matter if he's going up to MotoGP with whatever team. At the moment, he is staying in Moto 2 at this point. But you never know with that. And speaking about Tech 3, they're going to announce it's going. I would think after this summer break or this winter break here in Australia, this 5-week break that MotoGP has, will be announced that that the KTM, that tech-free KTM will announce who will be Remy Gardner's teammate for next year. And judging by what Raul Fernandez has said, I would have to say I think it's either Petrucci or Ikaleka Warner. It's either one of those two, I would to guess, because I don't think, judging by I think Raul Fernandez probably wants to enter MotoGP as a Moto2 world champion, I would to guess. So, well, judging by what Fernandez has said. So, I would assume that, that I believe that he will, into MotoGP. Now, the problem is, Fernandez, the problem is with KTM is that Fernandez and Acosta, they're both super talent. They're massive talents, especially Acosta. He's gonna rise through the ranks very, very quickly, quicker than I can blink a million times. That's how fast he'll go into MotoGP. And apparently the rumors were that I'm looking up this article right now, which was only earlier this month. It says that the VR46 team, well, it says Sky, but they're not going to be called the Sky VR46 team anymore because Sky's not going to be a part of that team anymore. Is willing to pay the exit clause fee of £500,000, which I'm trying to think of that in Australian dollars. I think if anybody can correct me on that of how many dollars is that, comment down below so you can help me out on that, because I'm not good at converting pounds into British pounds into Australian dollars. So it says here to get Acosta out of a 20. So it says here that Acosta has already got a contract for KTM for Moto2. So technically he has got a contract with Moto2 with Red Bull KTM since now Gardner's now going up to MotoGP, but it hasn't been announced yet. I would assume. About that. And there was also rumors here. It says here about Franco Morbidelli, that he will remain. That it says here in this article, he will remain with the Petronas Yamaha SRT team, but he'll have current machinery because if you guys don't know, before he was out injured, and by the way, I hope he hopefully recovers very quickly, and hopefully we'll see him back at the track very soon. By the way, if you guys don't know, he's had surgery on his knee, and hope, as I said, hopefully be back very soon. But he's currently on the 2019 bike. He's currently on the 2019 bike, while Quartararo, Vinales, and Rossi are all are on current factory machinery in 2021. So the rumors are that maybe if Fernandez does decide to go, which I don't think so, but you never know. With Yamaha courting Fernandez, maybe he does decide to go to Petronas Yamaha, and maybe they put him on the 2021 bike, and then Morbidelli goes on the current machinery. I don't know, but yeah. And then it was also some. And in this article also, Andrea Dovizioso was tipped to take the second Aprilia seat, which we still don't know about, or could we? I'll talk about that in a bit. Then on Thursday before the Dutch TT, it was before the German Grand Prix. I should correct myself. Before the German Grand Prix, it was announced that Gresini would announce that they're switched to Ducati, and they've also announced their 2022 rider lineup of Enea Bastianini and Fabio Di Giannantonio. So Di Giannantonio is going to be moving up to MotoGP next year, and of course Enea Bastianini is going to go from the soon to be defunct Avintia team, Avintia Esponsorama team, to go to the Gresini team. So he's not gonna be in that team. He's not gonna be he's gonna be in that team, which I think you guys, hopefully some of you MotoGP fans can or especially Moto3 fans who comment down below. I think Bastianini rode for the Gresini team when it was in Moto3, I believe, but when it was like, I don't know if it was about 6 or 7 years ago. So yeah, I think that's all I can remember. I think he used to ride for the Gresini team when he was in Moto3, I think. But of course, Fabio Di Giannantonio, of course, he's already at the team. He already won earlier in the year at Jerez. So I think that's and then a week later, which was only 3 days ago, so pre-Dutch TT, it was announced that the VR46 team would also be on Ducatis. So basically, that Ducati would switch to 8 bikes for next year. Now, that rider lineup has not been announced as of yet. I would assume that Luca Marini will take one of them. I would assume, and if the VR46 Moto2 team wants Pedro Acosta, I would suggest that the team is planning on bringing Marco Bezzecchi up to MotoGP as Marini's teammate. I would assume. It says here on speedcafe.com, article that I've got here on my laptop here, that Bezzecchi is been nominated by Rossi as a strong candidate. So I would assume that it's going to be Marini and Bezzecchi in that VR46 MotoGP team next year, I would assume. So, but the question is though, how would the bike specification thing or whatever with Ducati, how's that going to work? Because I know that Ducati, the factory team and the Pramac team will have current machinery. They'll have the factory spec machinery, of course. The factory teams also, of course, get the factory machinery. But how is Gresini and the VR46 team going to do it? Would both of them have will have one team have GP21, have the GP21, and the other team has a GP20, or the VR46 team has GP20? I think they're currently GP20s, I believe. I think it's or GP19s. I need to check that. I think that I still don't know if they're running GP20s or GP19s. Maybe have, as I said, maybe have one team run GP20s, the other one have GP19s, or maybe both of them have GP21s. I don't know. I have no idea. but we'll probably find that out later in the year, or maybe not until maybe the off season. We'll probably find that out. It won't be until maybe later in the year, and maybe we'll find that out. And then finally, we had a bit of a shock during the weekend. This rumor was announced only the other night. It was only announced, and it was revealed that Maverick Vinales could possibly, shockingly, be what's the word? Shockingly exit from Yamaha a year early on his contract, and go to the Aprilia factory team to be Alicia Spargaro's teammate. Now that is, there's no words to describe that. I think I heard that Maverick Vinales did very well in dodging some Aprilia questions in the press conferences throughout the weekend. I remember watching the MotoGP race at the Dutch TT last night, and I think Simon Crafer asked someone, I think from Yamaha or from Aprilia, that are these rumors true? And I didn't hear what that person said, but yeah, but they're so, and then I found then I noticed yet another article saying Vinales says for Maverick, an early exit from Yamaha is an option. So, could this happen? When I first saw this, I thought, nah, there's no way that a rider of his caliber would go to somewhere like Aprilia. There's no way. Now seeing that move is an option, that I'm now before today, I probably said it's like a 20, at the lowest, maybe 20 to 30% chance of happening. Now seeing this, it's 50-50 for me. I think, and there's also rumors that if this move happens, then they could possibly move Franco Morbidelli up to the factory team, and then that would leave 2 open seats at Petronas Yamaha SRT. And if that does happen, then possibly we might see another season of Valentino Rossi. And that would be good for us Rossi fans, because that would mean that he'll have at least one more year in MotoGP as a 43-year-old. Like that would I thought maybe I thought to myself earlier in the year when I did I said to you guys, I did the previous MotoGP silly season video. I said to myself, yeah, I think Rossi's done. But after seeing this rumor and the possibility that Franco Morbidelli might move up to the factory team to partner with Fabio, could there be a chance for a 22nd season in the Premier class for the Doctor? I'm saying that's 50-50. That not only for Rossi staying in continuing on for another season, but also having Maverick Vinales moving to the Aprilia team, and of course Franco Morbidelli. You never know with that. With that as well, and also you got to mention, you never know, maybe all that Fernandez rumor that possibly could change his mind. You never know. It's only a start. It's only one day into this break that MotoGP has, and a whole lot of things are probably gonna go down over the next couple of weeks, especially over this break. So yeah. So that is, well, pretty much it for MotoGP, for the second part of the MotoGP silly season. Like this video, share this to anybody that is a Yamaha fan or a Maverick Vinales fan, or just a casual MotoGP fan, like myself. Comment below. Do you see Maverick Vinales moving to Aprilia, or do you think that he should see out his contract at Yamaha? For me, in my opinion, it's 50-50. But I want to hear your opinions in the comment section below. And one last thing, somewhere down there, click on the big red button, which is labeled subscribe. Click on the notifications bell, and I'll click on and switch on notifications to get notified about when I do next upload, because it helps me out a lot. But yeah, but until next time, guys, I'll see yous later.